All right, we're back here up on top of the mountain here in Utah, and I just wanted to do a little showcase on this bike. My friend Josh, again,
Hey.
he rented it. Why don't you tell me anything that you know about this bike?
All right, so I rented this so that Rob could ride the Sport Glide with me. This is my first, well, not my first time on a big bagger. My dad had an old Ultra Classic that I rode just a few times, but this is my first time in the last 10 or 12 years on a bagger. And I guess my initial impressions are compared to the Sport Glide, which is right next to it if you want to show them that. It definitely feels heavier than that bike does. This is also, so the Sport Glide's a 2020 and the Road Glide, this is a 2020. It's got the 114 motor in it. My first impressions are that it still feels a little sluggish on acceleration, but I haven't really gotten too much into it because it's a rental, it's not mine. I'm trying to go easy on it. But the 107, I suppose it could just be a weight issue with the Sport Glide being lighter. Feels a little bit more nimble, a little faster. Still not really comfortable at low speed maneuvers, so I try not to do them too much on this bike, especially since it's a rental and I would feel terrible if I dropped it. But one thing I will say is that at 80 miles an hour on the interstate, I understand why people buy these.
Which is the speed limit around here, by the way.
Yeah, it is. Many of the interstates are 70 to 80 miles an hour in Utah, and people regularly do 90 to 100 on them. That's not out of the norm. And and if you're going to be out on the interstate, you need to be able to keep up with traffic, and that's something the Road Glide I think actually does really well. Is at 80, 85, even 90, it doesn't feel unstable. And the wind, also that huge fairing on the front blocks a ton of wind. There's basically, I'm about 6 feet and I experience no buffeting, even with the short windshield on here. Basically it cuts out 75, 80% of the wind that I would normally get on the Sport Glide, which has nothing on the front except for bars and a headlight. So overall, I'm still getting used to it. I put about 75 miles on this rental so far. I only have it for a day and a half, so I'm going to be giving it back soon. But I think my final takeaway from the bike is that I'm still not really sold on whether I would want to own a Road Glide coming off of a Sport Glide.
Yeah, I've ridden a Road Glide before on a test ride, not anything this long. And I kind of liked it, but I think he needs to get on a Street Glide. Let us know in the comments if you agree or if there's anything else that you think he might want to try out. That because he wants to get on a bigger bike, I think. Because the Sport Glide is not the greatest at high speeds on the interstates, and around here, if you're not doing the speed that the traffic's going, you're going to get killed. So
yeah, I mean the Sport Glide will do 90 miles an hour, but you're kind of hanging on for dear life when you're at that speed, and it's really fun for cruising around town, but for sustained high speed, long distance interstate driving, it becomes not fun really fast.
yeah, exactly. So I haven't been up that fast on it, but I have been about 50, 55 on it, and I could feel exactly what he's talking about. I think 80 at sustained speeds is going to be a little nerve wracking after a while, and vibrating and whatnot on a bike like that, especially with no good airflow protection. So.
Well, and I did have one of those big windshields, 15-inch windshield that attaches to the fairing and came up to right about here. But it blocked a little bit of wind, but it gave me really, really bad helmet buffeting because I wear a full face helmet while I'm doing this. So the buffeting was so bad, I had to just take it off because it was giving me like bobblehead. I couldn't even focus my eyes on anything. So I just run it without anything.
Yeah,
now.
He's already dumb. You don't need to be getting his brain rattled too much. But anyway, well, we're going to do some riding. We'll see what, we do later on. Maybe, takes a little bit more footage, but we'll see you in the next part of the video.